Hey everybody, this is Brian Kapple with the Athens Real Estate Company. Taking a couple minutes, talk about what you need to know about researching home prices for sellers if you're thinking you're going to sell. This document I pulled off of the National Association of Realtors. I'm actually starting here, I think on page 15 on this thing. Um, it's actually from also houselogic.com. So I just wanted to get the source out there. Okay, so you're thinking about selling, right? Like this thing says, you might be feeling a little bit anxious. Is the price going to be too low? Is it going to be too high? How do you figure it out? So, like this says right here, take a deep breath and let's do some homework for you. So, turn to local experts, right? We do know our stuff, or at least we're supposed to. I feel I do. I mean, if you go back and look through some of my videos, you'll see where I've posted the monthly market activity reports, I think, for Athens County, Meigs, Vinton, Jackson, and Washington County. And then I'll get deeper into the weeds in the specific cities or perhaps certain zip codes, although sometimes just dialing in on a zip code won't have everything that you need. So, okay, here's the good news, right? As it says here, local market info, it is on the internet. So all of you buyers also can have a general idea for what you think the home may be worth. Then here comes the bad news. Any prospective buyers will know that as well. And let's just call spade a spade. If I represent a buyer, first thing I'm doing is logging into RPR, Realtor Property Resources, again, part of the National Association of Realtors, pulling up the listing, and I'm going to get sort of what is called an RVM, or Realtors Value Model, which are pretty robust, and from what I have read are within plus or minus 10% usually of a sale price. So anyway, there's that, right? So when you're pricing your house, we as a listing agent, we have your back in a way an online property listing site cannot do it. So what can a good seller's agent do for you, right? Well, we have that real world experience in the community. We know the nuances of the neighborhood's micro market. We can assess how your home compares to similar ones recently sold in your area. We can tour the property to determine inside and out where your house fits in the real estate network or landscape for that region. And quite honestly, a website cannot do any of that. This is all hands-on, communication. Now, one thing I've not tried to do, I use Chat GPT a lot. I have not entered my property's address, asked it for a value. My guess is, though, it's going to say the value is going to be coming off that Zestimate that you see on the Zillow websites, right? So, yeah, an agent, we're going to consider online market data to help you set the price of your home. We are also going to rely on firsthand knowledge about the home's unique perks and quirks, as well as about the neighborhood to better inform your listing price. That's true. There's nuances. I listed an 1850s farmhouse and all the comps. I mean, I'm not going to find a comp for an 1850s farmhouse. So what do? Well, then you start looking at the comparables as far as the same square footage, excuse me, the number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, everything else. Well, the comps were coming back to me about $40,000 less than what the house had just been listed as and came off the market. It had expired. So I talked to those sellers and I said, this has a niche, the way the inside is, the nuance of the old farmhouse. I mean, there was a lot of pretty cool features. So we went ahead and listed it at that same price that it was at when it expired, and we had it under contract in 7 days. So that could have cost them possibly $35,000, $40,000 if somebody else would have went in and just went off of those comps, right? And $35,000 or $40,000, that's a lot of money. So searching online property sites, they'll give some experience, some context. Millennials right now are the largest group of home buyers today. And, accordingly, so where do they start? Overwhelmingly, they start their buyer's journey online. So when you're ready, online sites like Realtor.com can give you a sense of local real estate trends, including your city's median listing price, median closing price, and the average price per square foot. So as you are searching, there are some couple important things to do. So pay attention to houses in your area that are similar in terms of size, attributes, and location. When you work with a seller's agent to price your home, these houses will provide the main criteria for setting the amount. And these things really do work. I mean, if I can find comps, now Southeast Ohio, I sometimes have to go out a radius of 10 or 15 miles to find comps, especially when it comes to vacant land. Sometimes I even have to press it out larger for vacant land. Now, one thing about land is it stays consistent price per acre pretty much, unless it has a specific use, if it's already set up for hunting, if there's a cabin on it per se. So, I mean, there's a lot of different things. So as you're doing this, take notes about what makes your house different, from the pack that we're looking at. As you look at online listings, think carefully about why your house is worth more or less than similar houses in your community. So the better that you can articulate those nuances to me, the better prepared I can be to get your home listed at an accurate and competitive price. Having this information can also give you the confidence in the price that I would ultimately recommend. You'll know what standards are for the market, how that price is determined for your house, so on. So if there are any discrepancies, talk to me, or your agent about how he or she arrived at the price. Unlike the internet, they can give you a complete picture of what the home's price point should be. And I'm very good at going through and explaining and checking off boxes on where my pricing points are coming from, right? Now, at the end of the day, I work for the sellers. They are the bosses. I have fiduciary duties once we sign the seller's listing agreement. So yeah, I work for you. And at the end of the day, I will list your property for whatever you want it to go out at, and I will fly your flag for it. Now, there have been times I've walked from a listing because the listing prices were too high. And I just knew that it's not really, it was not really going to be a sale unless there was some substantial price reductions. I'm going to gloss through the rest of that stuff. Actually, I'm going to skip by it. We're going to talk real quick about, let me see if I can see my clock. Well, I don't want to go too long. We're going to talk about finding that real estate listing agent that's good for you. So how do you find this person, the right person to sell the home that you've lived in, loved in, laughed and cried, all that stuff, right? This is correct. You're the P and your home is the pod, and you've been through a lot together. So how do you find a good listing agent? Well, most of the time they are from referrals from other people. I do floor time at the Athens Real Estate Company. So sometimes I get a cold call in there, somebody wanting to sell, along with references. If you, for instance, here in Athens, Ohio, if you're looking for a realtor to sell your property, if you Google Athens, Ohio real estate agent, you're going to get a lot of different agents that come up. So, if they have a Google business profile page, check that out, look at the reviews. Some of us, I'm one that is currently doing it. I am Google screened. So that means that my license has been fact checked and verified. I have a background that was fact checked and done. What else? E&O insurance is on there, fact checked and done. So, you have some options, right? So what's a listing agent ultimately do? We work with you to price your home. We market it. We're talking pictures, social media, all that stuff. Okay. And So that part, marketing, is a big deal. Common today, most agents, realtors will use drones. It is wise to use 360 cameras like Matterport that will do the virtual walkthrough. Floor plans also, should be part of that. So this is really an interview process. So when you are talking to a prospective agent, that's what it is. I mean, to a certain degree and certain extent, I am interviewing the prospective sellers, and you folks ought to be interviewing me. What else do we do? Negotiate with home buyers. That's a tough one, and you have to have the right personality to be a good negotiator. You have to be thick-skinned. You can't let things hurt you. Biggest thing is you have to fly your client's flag. I have had some agents do some real, I guess I'm just going to, well, no, I'm not. They have done some weird stuff, and probably not represented their respective client in a good way. You have to do that. So with negotiating, for me, I'm a certified real estate negotiator. So I went through the class. So I have that under my belt. But listen, 29 years as a police officer, I can talk to anybody. And I am very good at just getting to brass tacks and getting to that end result. And also, lastly, what's our job? Usher the home sale through inspection and closing, right? That's a big deal. So, I'm there, and I always tell people, there's no reason to go into code yellow, definitely no code red, until I am there. And quite frankly, it takes a heck of a lot to get me even to a code yellow. It's not that I'm not worried about it. I just know typically how things are going to play out. And sometimes closings are more of a marathon than they are a sprint, right? So, we have that. There's no more here about price in your home. Negotiating with buyers, I do want to cover that. When offers start pouring in, the agent will negotiate with prospective buyers on not only the sale price, but also on what contingency are attached with the contract. So, you may get two cash deals. Let me digress. You may get one cash deal that have waived any inspection contingencies. You may get a conventional loan deal that is higher price than the cash, but it has contingencies. So with contingencies come home inspections, termite inspections. You never know what you're going to find unless you've done a pre-listing home inspection, which I always recommend. So you have to decide what's the better of the two. Cash deal, less money, no contingencies, which is pretty much a slam dunk deal for sellers unless there's something in the title history, or is a conventional loan where it's more money, but you've got more checkoff boxes to do, right? That's the kind of stuff that we have to talk about. And, it's my job to get you through that. As you can see here, some of this stuff can be stressful, fraught moments. So it's my job to make it not that way. So as it says, average listing agent does all of the above while also inspiring confidence. If I'm talking negative crap about the buyer's agent, you guys are going to start buying into that. Or you're going to think that I'm not ethical or that I'm a complainer or anything else like that, right? I have to be above par all the time. If I don't feel good, if it's 11 o'clock in the morning, I mean, I've done offers to purchase and got them agreed upon on Christmas Eve, right? If you want to do your clients well, you got to be out here and hustling. So, asking questions to find a great listing agent. We've already talked about this. Start with your network, ask friends, relatives, neighbors, colleagues. Word of mouth endorsements are priceless because and trust these friends, right? Also, like I've said, another trusted friend is the internet. So you do have that. During the interviews, ask these questions to help assess whether I would be a good fit for you, right? Because a client relationship, you've got to have a good fit. If it's not a good fit, it's not going to be a happy, stress-free time. So some of these questions: do you work as an agent full time? How long have you been in the business? How many homes have you sold in my neighborhood in the past year? What's the typical price range of homes you sell? Big one, what is your fee? So I'm just going to say really quick, this document predates some changes that took place in August of this year with National Association of Realtors. Fees are not set and are always negotiable. Okay. So here's the big one. How will you market my home? So that is huge. And a good seller's agent should not pause. There should be no uhs, because what do uhs mean? Uhs mean that we are trying to think of what to say, right? It's an uncomfortable silence. So if you ask your agent, how will you market your home? That one ought to be right out there. Will I be working with you directly or with a team? That's a great question, right? I used to be in a team, so they need to know who's going to be representing them. Will you provide one-on-one service? That's another great question. I do not like dual agency. I'm not going to get into that. I actually should do another video probably on Ohio agency because it can be quite confusing. But I'm not a fan of dual agency because when that happens, I represent a buyer and a seller. It puts me in the middle. I'm Switzerland. I'm not allowed to talk to the buyer about what's good, what's not good. I don't think it's what a seller. I don't think that's what a seller signed up for. A seller wants that one-on-one service most of the time, right? Definitely know what you're signing up for. Okay. Understanding again how a listing agent gets paid. This, like I said, predates some changes by NAR. So I am not going to get into this. This would be something that would be into the weeds when you are looking at selling your house. For the sake and for the order of time, I think we've talked enough about this. We've touched the top of the weeds. We did not jump into that rabbit hole on this. And I'm afraid if I go too long that I will. Listen, I have this saved as a PDF. If you want it, just, let me know. If you're thinking about buying or selling property here anywhere in Southeast Ohio, I mean, I'm based out of Athens County, but if you're looking Southeastern Ohio general, I'm the person that can help you out with that. So, feel free. If you have any questions or anything like that, send me a text message, send me an email, whatever you want to do. I appreciate your time. Sorry, this one went a little bit longer than normally what I like to do. Do me a favor. If you like these videos, be sure to like it, maybe share and subscribe. I'm also okay with constructive criticism, so don't worry about that either. I'm a little bit thick-skinned, and I want to know how I'm doing and what should change. So I hope everybody enjoyed this, maybe got a little bit of information out of it. Hope you all have a blessed, safe day. Thank you so much.